The eternal question of human origins. From time immemorial, humans have pondered their origins. Where did we come from? What is our purpose? Various religions, philosophies, and scientific theories have sought to answer these fundamental questions. Buddhism, however, offers a unique perspective that is neither rooted in creationism nor purely scientific materialism. Instead, it presents a cyclical view of existence, emphasizing the nature of cause and effect, karma, and the interdependent arising of all phenomena. Unlike many religious traditions, Buddhism does not assert a definitive creation story. The Buddha himself refrained from engaging in speculative metaphysical debates about the beginning of the universe, as he saw them as distractions from the primary goal of spiritual liberation. In this comprehensive exploration, we will delve into Buddhist cosmology, the evolution of human beings, and the development of human societies while drawing parallels with modern science. The universe according to Buddhism. The concept of beginningless time. Buddhist cosmology differs significantly from the linear progression of time found in many religious traditions. Instead of a singular beginning, Buddhism teaches that time is infinite and cyclical. The Animataga Sutta states that this cycle of rebirth has no discernible beginning. A first point is not known. This idea implies that existence has always been and will always be, with countless worlds arising and dissolving over immeasurable time. The Buddha used metaphors to illustrate the vastness of time. He described a scenario where a massive rock mountain, measuring 1 yojana, about 16 kilometers, in height and width, is gently brushed with a fine silk cloth once every 100 years. The time it would take for the mountain to erode completely would still be shorter than a single kalpa, an eon. This analogy underscores the immense time scales involved in Buddhist cosmology and urges practitioners to recognize the impermanence of all things. Cycles of universal evolution. Buddhist texts describe the universe as undergoing infinite cycles of creation, sustenance, and dissolution. In the Aganya Sutta, the Buddha explains that during periods of dissolution, all physical forms disappear, and beings are reborn in subtler realms such as the Abhasara Brahma world, a state of luminous, formless existence. When the universe begins to reassemble, these beings gradually descend into denser physical realities. The Buddha states, there comes a time when the world contracts. At that time, beings are mostly reborn in the Abhasara Brahma world. There comes a time when the world expands, and beings from the Abhasara Brahma world appear in this one. This cyclical process mirrors modern cosmological theories of expansion and contraction, such as the Big Bang and Big Crunch hypotheses. Unlike theistic creation models, Buddhism attributes cosmic formation to natural elements, earth, water, fire, air, and space, governed by karma rather than divine intervention. This perspective aligns with the notion that the universe functions based on impersonal natural laws. The vastness of multiple world systems. The Buddhist view of the cosmos extends beyond a single world or universe. The Brahmayala Sutta describes a multiverse concept, where countless world systems exist simultaneously, each undergoing cycles of birth and destruction. Modern astrophysics suggests a similar idea with theories of multiple universes existing beyond our observable cosmos. However, Buddhism focuses not on empirical verification but on the impermanence and interconnected nature of all phenomena. The evolution of human form. The first physical beings. According to the Aganya Sutta, early beings were initially mind-made, luminous, and self-sustaining through joy, pity. The Buddha described this primeval world as a vast expanse of water and darkness, with radiant beings who moved effortlessly. However, as time passed, some beings became curious about an edible substance known as earthly essence, which formed on the water's surface. The Buddha explained, as these beings tasted the earthly essence, their bodies became coarser, and they lost their radiance. This transformation marked the beginning of physical form, leading to distinctions among beings, including gender differences. These early humans gradually adapted to their changing environment, becoming more dependent on material sustenance and developing physical features such as hands, feet, and distinct facial characteristics. Environmental changes and social adaptations. As the physical world evolved, food sources changed. Edible plants, creepers, and grains emerged, leading to the early stages of agricultural development. However, with these changes came the rise of attachment and conflict. The Buddha noted that beings initially lived in harmony, but as resources became scarce, greed and hoarding led to disputes. This prompted the formation of early social structures and governance. The evolution of human form, as described in Buddhist texts, is not merely a biological process but a karmic and ethical one. Choices, desires, and actions shape not only individual destinies but also the collective human experience. This principle aligns with the broader Buddhist teaching of dependent origination, paticca samuppada, which explains how all phenomena arise based on preceding conditions. The development of human society, the rise of social structures. With the transition from self-sufficient beings to physically dependent humans, social cooperation became essential. Beings who once lived independently began forming groups to share resources, protect one another, and develop early forms of communication. Language emerged as a means of expressing ideas, and rudimentary governance structures took shape. The Aganya Sutta describes the emergence of leadership, where beings collectively chose a ruler, the Mahasamada, great elect, to maintain order and mediate disputes. This marks the origins of governance and law, demonstrating that political structures arose not from divine will but from pragmatic necessity. The division of labor further refined social organization, leading to roles such as farmers, artisans, and traders. However, this also introduced hierarchy and inequality, necessitating the development of ethical principles to guide human interactions. Moral and spiritual evolution alongside material and social development, the Buddha emphasized moral progress. As greed, anger, and ignorance increased, beings sought ways to cultivate virtue and wisdom. Teachings on generosity, dana, compassion, karuna, and mindfulness, sati, emerged as counterbalances to selfish tendencies. The Noble Eightfold Path became a framework for ethical living, ensuring that human progress did not lead solely to material accumulation but also to inner peace and enlightenment. The purpose of understanding human origins. The Buddha taught that speculating about cosmic origins should not be an end in itself but should serve a practical purpose, reducing suffering and fostering spiritual growth. Understanding human origins through a Buddhist lens reminds us of the impermanence and interdependence of all things. It teaches that our actions ripple through time, influencing both our immediate experiences and future existences. The Dhammapada states, "All that we are is the result of what we have thought. If a man speaks or acts with an impure mind, suffering follows him. If a man speaks or acts with a pure mind, happiness follows him." Recognizing the karmic link between origin and destiny empowers us to cultivate wisdom, compassion, and ethical conduct. Ultimately, the Buddhist view on human origins is not merely a cosmological explanation but a call to mindfulness and responsibility. By seeing our existence within the vast cycles of the universe, we are encouraged to live meaningfully, embracing the path toward awakening and liberation.